A new Horizon update is out now, 1.06, with some very nice fixes and changes. I want to run down everything you need to know. We also know some future things Gorilla is looking into, and is DLC coming? Well, we got a pretty legit source that seems convinced that a DLC store is already in the game. There are timestamps in the video bar. I want to go over the update first, and let's immediately start with a big fix. As I also noted in my previous update video, when going into the photo mode and switching poses, Aloy, her armor would become blurry, making it almost impossible for me to use the feature. Well, now luckily after the patch, all the stances work again, so totally expect more Aloy poses in thumbnails moving forward. Maybe you noticed when doing a Valor search, your screen would become blurry, and in the case of the toughened Valor search, your screen would also be green in all the corners, as you also still see in the skill video. But now after the update, it's way more subtle. It's also a different kind of green and just takes over your screen way less, which is nice. But, and this is interesting, for the trap specialist Valor search, they actually changed it the other way around. This is what it looked like before the update, and now after the update, we do see the purple color in the corners. So, when you use your favorite Valor search, you will likely notice some changes. Also, by the way, when you're low health, first your screen would be covered in red, which was quite annoying if you were focused on the low health playstyle. But now, as you see right here, it's once again way more subtle. You still notice, okay, I should probably heal up, but it's not like in your face, which is nice. Sometimes when playing, I would have a black screen out of nowhere. As you see during this moment here, I want to override this Claw Strider, and then the game just continues. Well, Gorilla now notes that they fixed several unintentional loading screens, black screens, that would trigger in specific points. Did not encounter them yet with the new update, so I hope they're fixed. We also got a small but nice change for the Machine Strike minigame. You can of course do by going over to the blue icons in different settlements. They now improved the visibility of the move and attack indicators. First, they were white or more transparent, and now you can more easily see where your piece can attack or move, thanks to more bold lines and better use of color. During the Drowned Hopes side quest you can start over here on the map, you can get a Guardian Tripcaster, but first in the workbench crafting menu where you have to craft this after completing the mission, it would look like an ordinary pouch. Well, if you check now, after the update, they changed it to a legit Tripcaster because it is a Tripcaster. And they also note in the patch notes that they did this for several craftable quest items. We'll go over more fixes and changes with the update, and also again talk about that pretty substantial DLC rumor. Of course, if you like the Horizon content here on the channel, then leaving a like on the video would really be amazing. And subscribe to be up to date on everything Horizon if you haven't already. Aloy will not mention her stash quite as often as before, because first, every time you would send something to your stash, at least it felt that way, she would note one of the many one-liner variants. After tens of hours, we get it, Aloy. So, nice that they turned it down. They also note that they added a sound effect when using the strike from above, but we could not really figure out what they changed. This is before the update. And then now the footage afterwards. So yeah, totally let us know if you noticed the difference. They also fixed issues when using the mount on roads. Of course, hold X for the mount to follow the road. In some locations, the mount would first behave erratically, but that should now be addressed. And when I read this, fixed an issue where Aloy would freeze in a specific pose when switching weapons during a charged heavy melee attack. I was scared that they removed a tactic you can do to build up the Resonator Blast very quickly. If you namely enable the quick swap weapon feature in the settings menu under controls, you can with L1 switch to the last weapon you used. And if you do this while holding R2, you can actually charge your spear without having to do the charged heavy attack animation. Luckily though, it's still in the game, and I will go more in depth on the melee playstyle very soon. I've been upgrading, I've been preparing. ready to share my finds very soon. They also know the fix for an infinite black screen issue after stashing the champion spear and then doing specific tutorials or challenges. And there are of course way more specific fixes also for main missions and way more. So before we go over some known issues that are coming with future patches very soon, I want to touch on this DLC rumor first, because it seems like an online storefront should be in the game where you can buy DLC expansions. And this according to a video from the VSC rating board, who rate games for the UK on the familiar PEGI scale.
And scenes of execution at Spear Point. This game offers players the opportunity to connect to an online storefront where they can purchase subsequent DLC expansions, which some parents or carers may want to be aware of. It should be noted that the game can still be played without the need to purchase such items.
I just don't know how they would come up with this and why it would be in an official video if it's not indeed real. This is not a random website mentioning this, and Sony probably had to give them the heads up that they were planning to add this, even if it was later on. And really, if this is real, I would be super excited because I would love a good reason to keep playing this game for months and months, especially after having to wait 5 years for this sequel. It would be a shame if after maybe one DLC like Frozen Wilds, we would have to wait 4 years again for the third game. And Frozen Wilds launched almost a year after Zero Dawn. I totally think they want to get it out faster, and this video seems to hint at multiple DLCs, which is totally interesting. But next to paid content, which seems obvious, and I will share my theories about where I think the paid DLC will go to in a future video. Wanna save it because not a lot of people have finished the game, of course, right now. Either way, I hope we get some free things as well. Days Gone actually had really cool combat challenges that rolled out months and months after its launch. And the last major open world Sony game, of course, released Legends, the multiplayer mode, and also a ton of quality of life improvements and features. Like, I would be shocked if they did not at least add some new arena challenges. There are a lot of possibilities, like put more machine combinations in this ring that we just cannot find out in the wild. Or maybe this will be a way for us to fight machines again that we only encountered during the main or side missions, which should fix some scanning issues too. During my weekly Monday Horizon stream, I had many people already ask about New Game Plus. It's not confirmed yet, but I would be shocked if they did not at least add it. Just like Ultra Hard, that was also added to Zero Dawn after launch, where you could not see the health bar of machines anymore, so you really had to look at their state and if they were limping, for example, to see if you almost killed them. I totally expect them to bring that back to Forbidden West as well. What we at least know that they are working on are some graphic issues for players that they are experiencing. For some people, the fire gleam icons are not removed from the map after interacting with them. There's also a music track, The World on Our Shoulders, that keeps repeating for some people. They're also working on a fix for that. And it turns out that right now it's impossible to get 100% in the game because of some missing things, or if you did not scan every machine variant, you can't have them spawn again, so you will never be able to fill out your machine catalog. Elkier made a video on that. He's currently at 93%, just like some other people as well, and they can't really go beyond that. Gorilla now notes that they are looking into it, so I totally expect them to fix that in the future. Just when we know more about the future of Horizon, I'll of course be the first to tell you here, so subscribe to miss nothing. Like, there are rumors about a Sony event in March. That would of course be the perfect time to reiterate, hey, Horizon is out, there's some DLC coming. But again, I digress, we will know more soon. A like on the video would really help me out, and totally check out my previous video on a cool endgame build and some overall tips on where to get great items during the end of the game. For now though, I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.